So today, we're going to dive into a pretty incredible story, an artistic journey that spans 50 years. It starts in the chemical-scented darkrooms of the 1970s, takes us through the digital boom of the 2000s, and lands us right here in the middle of today's AI revolution. It's really a story about how the tools always change, but that creative spark, that stays the same.
And this quote right here, from the artist we're following, just sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? It's such a powerful reminder that through every single technological leap, the core of creation is always the human voice, the idea, the story you're trying to tell. And that right there is the heart of what we're exploring today.
All right, so let's set this scene. We're going back to the 1970s. I want you to imagine a world with no digital anything. No instant feedback, just rolls of film and a whole lot of patience. We're meeting our hero, a self-taught young photographer on Long Island who has this artistic craving and a dream he's chasing in his parents' basement.
So here's the roadmap for the journey we're about to take. We're looking at three totally distinct creative eras. We're going to follow our artist from good old analog film to the absolute game changer that was digital photography, and then land right in the present with his collaboration with generative AI. It's a whole lifetime of creative adaptation. I mean, just think about the sheer effort involved back then. He'd be scouting locations on his bicycle, then spend hours and hours in a tiny darkroom under that classic red safe light, literally watching his images magically appear in these chemical trays. The source material actually calls every single print a small miracle. It was this slow, hands-on, and deeply personal process. So check this out. This image was his very first big artistic statement. It was 1970, a really turbulent time in the country with anti-war protests and civil rights riots. But he wanted to capture a different feeling, something about patriotism and honor. He found this exact scene at a Revolutionary War cemetery and framed it to get the church, the flag, and the headstone all in one shot, a really powerful symbol of God, country, and sacrifice. And this was the tool he used to do it, the Topcon Unirex 35mm camera. For its time, this thing was absolutely state-of-the-art. This was the instrument that translated his vision onto a physical roll of film. It was all about mastering the mechanics of light and shadow, one careful click at a time.
Okay, now let's fast forward. We're jumping 30 years ahead to the turn of the millennium. The year is 2000, and technology's about to basically hand creators a completely new rulebook.
And wow, just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got the trusty analog camera, and on the right, an early Sony digital camera that really represented the future. You know, this wasn't just some small upgrade, it was a fundamental shift in the entire creative process.
And that shift brought this incredible sense of freedom. All those old limitations, the cost of film, the hours stuck in the darkroom, that long, agonizing wait to see your results, poof, they were all gone. You could experiment, you could fail, you could try again, instantly. That barrier between what you imagined and what you could actually create, it just started to melt away.
And man, did he run with this new freedom. He even started using his new Photoshop skills across his professional life. He became both a dentist and an airline pilot, traveling the world and capturing these amazing images from the sky, like this one. The digital darkroom let him blend his passions and his professions in ways that were just impossible before.
And that brings us to today, to the third, and honestly, maybe the most mind-bending revolution of all. We're now in an era where the creative tool isn't just a machine you operate, but a partner you can actually collaborate with. Just let that sink in for a second. Everything we've seen so far, from the dark room to digital, was all about capturing light from the real world. But what happens when you can capture an image directly from your own imagination? Well, this is the result. This stunning image was not captured with a camera. It was born from a simple text description typed into a generative AI model. He had to learn a totally new skill, not how to frame a shot, but as he puts it, simply, how to ask.
And get this new partnership wasn't just about pictures. He'd always loved music, played the piano, but, he never had an orchestra. Well, now he could just hum a melody or describe a feeling, like a Henry Mancini film score, and an AI would build an entire arrangement around his idea.
And this is where it all leads. The kid who started out in a basement darkroom back in 1970, now, under the artist name Piano Grandpa, has his original music streaming globally on Apple Music. It's a creative journey that spans 55 years and just an unimaginable amount of technological change. And this idea, which came out of his work with AI, it just sums it all up perfectly. Those old barriers to entry, the record labels, the studios, the expensive gear, they're just dissolving. What's left, what's essential, is the human element,
heart and curiosity.
I love how Piano Grandpa himself puts it. He doesn't feel like he's being replaced by AI. Not at all. He feels empowered by it. The AI isn't the carpenter, it's the advanced set of power tools that lets the master carpenter's vision come to life bigger and faster than ever before.
So after this incredible 50-year journey, what's the big takeaway? Well, he has a really clear message for the next generation of creators, and I think it's something we can all learn from.
His advice is really simple but profound. First, don't be afraid of the new tools, but always remember what really matters is what you have to say with them. The joy is in the act of making something, so just start now. Experiment, fail, try again. And you know what? Don't be afraid to ask for help, even if it's from an AI.
So, when we talk about the AI revolution in art, this is really what we mean. It's this fundamental shift away from mastering a physical device and toward the pure, unfiltered power of your own vision and imagination.
And this quote just brings our whole journey full circle. The technology, it isn't the real story. The story is about people. Artists like Piano Grandpa finally getting the tools to fully express the worlds that have always existed inside their minds.
So we're going to end by turning the question back to you. We've seen one person's lifetime of creativity adapt and flourish across 3 massive technological ages. The tools today are more accessible than they have ever been. So, what story is inside of you, just waiting to be told?